Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's Makai with Cable East. I'm the fleet manager here. Today we're going to be going over a Vactron. So it's just going to be your daily check, kind of a walkthrough of what you should be doing every day as you hook up and take off with a Vactron. So first thing you're going to do before starting, obviously, operations is you're going to go ahead and check your fluids. Make sure everything's good to go on there. So this Vactron specifically, you pop open the little engine compartment here. Everything's pretty laid out, super simple. So first thing you want to check is your dipstick for oil. It's yellow. You're going to take and pull it out. It's got your high mark and your low mark. So you obviously want this to be showing at least halfway or a little bit above, not over full and not showing at all. So next thing, you got your air filter. Typically don't have a lot of problems with these clogging up or getting packed off. On this one specifically, the housing just rotates off. Pull that inner filter out. Or outer filter, and take and dust it off, make sure it's good to go. Make sure it's not caving in or has any blockages on it. Make sure everything seats down back nicely and snug, and then you just push on, rotate back on there. So check your oil, made sure everything's good to go here. Close this back up. Checking your fluids, making sure everything's good to go. And then you can start your procedure on these. It's pretty simple. Just turn the key on. It'll obviously give you a prompt. Give it a minute to heat up. Then you go ahead and start your starting procedure. Start it up. Everything's going to kick on. So one of the next big things I want to touch base on this Vactron is making sure that we got this big signage on here. This one specifically says drain daily, wash out weekly. So there's a valve on the bottom of this blower, and right here on the front side, on this piece right here, you have a giant open and close. So daily, just take and open that up. Let the mud drain out of there, whatever's in there. If it's just water, let it drain out of there. One of the biggest things is when this overfills, it's going to go over here to this. It's going to start filling up this baghouse filter, and then you get the my Vactron won't suck, it won't work. I don't know what to do. Typically what causes this is you're going to have a blockage with this filter. It's going to be completely covered in mud. We obviously deal in clay a lot of times, and it just, when it gets hard, packs off in here, that filter is just you're going to have a blockage. You're not going to have any vacuum. So that's one of the big things about cleaning that filter out every day. Next thing is, obviously here in Georgia, we've got the winter months. So you want to make sure that you're antifreezing these things, because you have your pressure washer. Obviously you use it for digging, cleaning, whatever you use this pressure washer for. It's going to have water in the system. This Vactron does have a water pump on it, so it's something, same thing like with your 2440s or 1015s or anything that runs water or fresh water. You're going to take and make sure that your valve on your antifreeze is open. Make sure you engage your water pump. So right here, you're going to turn your water pump on. That way it's circulating the coolant or antifreeze through the system. Make sure you've got coolant coming out of the hose back there. So next thing I want to talk about with the Vactron is this freshwater filter right here. This is something at least once a week, take and just unplug that right there. It'll drain all the goop and dirty that goes directly to your water pump. So a lot of times you lose pressure on your pressure washer. It's probably due to that filter right there being dirty and not being able to get water to it the way it needs to. Next thing is, obviously this is a trailer. So if you're going to hook up to it, we'll probably do a video strictly on trailers, but just kind of touching base on it. You want to make sure that everything looks good on the front of these Vactrons, because once you get them slapped full, this is a heavy piece of equipment. You've got this engine on the front, you've got a tank full of mud on the back. So what you want to do is make sure your pintle ring is in good shape. Make sure that the pintle itself is not wore down to where it's starting to cave in and get that moon shape to it. Check your chains, make sure your chains are in good shape. Obviously make sure your breakaway cable is in good shape. Make sure that it's not too long as to where your chains are going to catch, but this isn't going to pull out of here. And then obviously you've got your electrical connection. This runs your brakes, this runs your lights. You want to make sure that all this is working so that while you're hauling this heavy piece of equipment, you've got the proper brakes. Making sure everything stops the way it's supposed to. Make sure you're not dragging the brakes. So definitely something you want to look out for. Next thing I want to touch on with these Vactrons is your door. Obviously you've got this seal, and then where the door sits down on that seal. So paying attention to this seal, making sure it doesn't fall out, making sure that your door is closing all the way on the seal. What you'll start to see happening is a lot of times closer to the bottom side, is that seal will get worn out. You'll start having drippings or leakings, and your door will start leaking. Biggest thing is probably the seal. At that point you probably need to get it replaced, or we can take and turn it over or rotate it to where it'll start seating properly and you'll have a proper seal on your door. Also, if you've got an air leak on a vacuum cleaner, you're obviously not going to have as much suction as you're looking for. So closing up that air leak, making sure that you're good to go. And then kind of going into air leaks and your suction, stuff like that. One of the biggest thing is your cam locks. Making sure that your ears on your cam locks are in good shape. Make sure they got them on there. And then having your actual gasket in here. As you can see in this one, the gasket's missing. So whenever you put your hose on there, you're not going to have a proper seal. You're going to have a little bit of gap in there to where that hose is moving around and you're not getting like full suction. That can cause a pack off in your actual hose, just because you're getting a little bit of suction and then it's letting off just because of the air getting past it. Versus if you have a full seal, you're going to have full suction the way you need it. So obviously, you know, these handles, they get bent, they get broke off. This is stuff we have available at the actual shop. So if you have any issues like that to where they're broke, need to be replaced, just come see us and we'll get you set up. Obviously on this door, it's all hydraulic. You want to make sure that you're looking at your cylinder up here, making sure that it's not getting loose or worn out on the top side up there. Just because of, obviously that's the only thing when it goes up. You obviously have this safety bar in place, but if you have an issue with your cylinder or hydraulic line, your door's not going to raise up. So next big thing is obviously making sure these tanks get cleaned out regularly. A lot of times with clay and a sand mix, if you take and use this vac and you just are draining the water out every time and not actually getting that silt or whatever it is at the bottom, that stuff hardens up and sets up at the bottom of the tank, and especially if you leave it for the next guy, it's not going to be a good thing. So they're going to be struggling trying to chip all that stuff out. So the best thing to do is obviously lifting your door up, taking your pressure washer that's on the Vactron itself, and cleaning all that out while it's still wet. That allows it to come out a lot easier, and just making sure you clean that tank out regularly and getting it a fully clean out. So, well guys, I appreciate y'all taking time to watch the video. It's pretty much just your basic walkthrough around the Vactron. If y'all have any questions, reach out and we'll get you squared away. Thank you.